Welcome to the last evening of heartfelt conversations on hard copy for the year 2016. I'm Maokbe Ogun. Tonight, we dedicate this edition and the one to come after it to young people. Why? Because they, perhaps I should say we, are the future. When the year comes to an end, we tend to reflect, take stock, and make plans for the new year. On this program tonight, we wish to challenge young people to take the future a bit more seriously, not just economically or socially, but more importantly, politically. The year 2016 has seen Nigeria's economy take a turn for the worse, plunging into a recession. Interestingly, the decisions that will be taken to get it out will ultimately rest in the laps of political leaders. When you think about the problem in this manner, how ready are young people to take their destiny in their hands, politically speaking? Well, that's the thing we wish to reflect on tonight. To do this, I asked two gentlemen under the age of 40 to x-ray the importance of joining the decision-making process and its challenges. Anthony Ehilebo is a lawyer and a member of the People's Democratic Party, while Ismail Ahmed is a member of the Board of Trustees of the All Progressives Congress and a lawyer too. To launch into the discussion, I took them up on a goodwill message President Muhammadu Buhari wrote to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Yakubu Dogara, on the occasion of his 49th birthday. The president said he was impressed with Dogara's leadership style and performance at his relatively young age, adding that the Speaker has reinforced his confidence in the Nigerian youth. In his words, with Dogara's performance as Speaker, fears that the country's younger politicians have been pushed into the background are unfounded. Now, not to take anything away from the good wishes for Mr. Speaker, whom hard copy wishes many more years on earth alongside other December babies, I asked my guests if they agreed with the president that 49 was a youthful age. After a moment of hesitant silence, here was what they said.
That's a Nigerian connotation, and we've had that in our polity for a very long time. Perhaps if you want to go by research that has been done, you find out that it's been postulated that the Nigerian youth doesn't come of age until a very late stage in his life. So whereas in other advanced and more developed countries, you have youth being defined as 25, 35, below the ages of 35. But for Nigerians, late education, other factors have come to bear that you have people at 50 being described as the youth. I think we need to redefine this age to the appropriate age, because there are certain peculiar traits you find with people who are really youth that you don't find in other people who have outgrown that particular age, in terms of creativity, resilience, energy. You find that in a true youth. And I think we would need to redefine this for as a country.
Ismail.
I've always defined a young person in Nigeria as between the age you can vote and the age you can run for president, which is between 18 to 40, as it currently stands in the Constitution. I'm sure the president just meant someone who is younger, far younger than him. You know, the president clocked 74. If the Speaker of the House of Representatives, which is the number 4 citizen, just clocked a year less than 50. So the president, he's 25 years older than him. To him, he's a younger politician. We appreciate that. But youth, in the sense of being a youth, the Speaker certainly isn't. At the age of 49, you certainly aren't. You're a younger politician, yes, compared to the president and so many other people who are in political offices today, but certainly not a youth.
The reason I ask this, because I have been very worried in terms of youth involvement in politics, youth involvement in political parties, and even in their involvement in terms of when you look at political appointments and what have you. And, you know, I think that when sometimes you see statements like this, maybe it gives you a window into the thinking of, say, maybe those at the helm of affairs. Perhaps, you know, maybe when you begin to clock the age of 49, you're still considered quite young. But I want to ask, you know, perhaps it's just those in the media who think That's maybe those of us outside politics who think that is not the, that's not a youthful age. But now that both of you say that, 49 is definitely not, a youthful age. What then? I mean, you have said 18 to 40. Are you agreed with him that 18 to 40 is the age of a youth?
Well, I read a statement this morning. It said in the early 50s, 60s, those that liberated Nigeria were in their 30s. Mm-hmm. Now the new battle is to liberate Nigeria from those guys who are now in their 80s and actually take power from them. Because it is felt that for new ideas, new thoughts to come into the polity, you need younger people. But again, do these young people have political experience? That's the question, because you have to look at the perception people have about politics and politicians. In Nigeria, it's a very negative perception you have for people in politics. I know I get a lot of flack for being, for someone who is in politics, especially now that we're in the opposition. People tend to look at you with a very negative bias. Like, this man was being, but then again, you need to have people who stand out, who are able to set the pace for other Nigerians. And I think that's what we need a lot of.
How long ago did you join the PDP?
I joined PDP 4 years ago. And it wasn't as a result of wanting political power. I think I'd read a report, and I read that report again today, which had posited that the young people of Nigeria, not oil, by 2030 will be Nigeria's greatest asset. And it became imperative at that point to carry that message into politics, that we need to focus on this. I mean, we missed our chances in developing our power. We missed that opportunity. We missed the opportunity of utilizing our oil boom. Are we going to miss this opportunity? Because when you read that report, it tells you that it's like a double-edged sword. You don't take advantage of that opportunity, it becomes a problem to you. But you take advantage of it, and Nigeria is sure to be one of the top countries in the world if we can take it. Because imagine if we have young people who are an army of programmers, coders, people who can do unique things. And you want to look at the people who are achieving and breaking barriers in Nigeria. They're actually very young people. But you want to look at the entertainment industry, look at what they're doing. Without help, without government financing, they're breaking these barriers. Look at the media industry. I've always said people like yourself, Mark, are doing extraordinary things in where you are. And this opportunity should also be present in politics. I know there are other factors that affect politicians, but I mean, you need that dynamism, that creativity of young people to function in a political scenario. Ismail,
Tony says that this opportunity should be present to young people. You have been a member of a political party for quite some time now. How available would you say that opportunity has been to young people? What has your experience been like?
Well, quite honestly, I think it has been very, my experience has been great, to be honest. I think, like Tony said, I think there's a difference between how young people fare in politics as opposed to how they fare in other spheres of the human endeavor, like business or technology or whatever. There are certain spaces where it is left for young people to thrive as much as they can. That is technology or entertainment or sports or athletics. Only young people can actually do that. If you come to politics, however, unfortunately, we live in a country where we have a serious dependent culture. It's a politics of identity. It's about who you know. And longevity matters. Longevity in the fact that people always trust the ones that they have known the longest. And these people turn out to be people who have been there for quite a while. So that kind of reflects on young people. And there's this feeling, a general feeling, because of our own unique cultures of where we come from. Is, for example, in the North, we have a very, feudal structure of leadership where a leader, oversees, his subjects and his younger people or his subjects or his kingdom or whatever. And even in the West, I think is the same thing. So usually you carry this moral burden and this burden of being on top that comes with age and experience and maturity that is expected of someone who is in a leadership position. So that kind of plays into our political system as well. So young people would have to do extra, they'll have to go the extra mile to be able to break that. Now, he gave an example of the 1960s where, you know, the likes of the president were governors, you know, at the age of 33. And I've always, because I'm a history buff, I've always known that, you know, there was a chasm between those who were in political authority as at that time and the next generation that came immediately after them, which, for example, the late Sir Ahmadu Bello, who was in his, 40s, I think, or 50s, in the 60s, they were the first educated people in the North. And the next generation of people that were educated that can hold government offices were younger people that he facilitated them to go to school. The likes of the president and, you know, General Murtala Muhammad, the soldiers, the civil servants. And so when the coup of 1966 happened, for example, leadership kind of fell down to their laps at a very young age. And they're still alive till today, feeling that other people have not garnered the experience that they have had to be able to capture political authority. So our political system is skewed and attached to our own cultural background, and that makes it doubly hard for younger people to break. But I think it is coming up. I think the older generation are beginning to realize that political systems now need an infusion of the youthful exuberance and the innovation that it needs to come with.
Well, Tony, Ismail has talked about social, cultural norms, you know, being one of the, should I say, hindrances in the way of young people rising, even when they join the political parties. Has that been your experience?
Is we've had to fight for it. Several times they've set up committees within the party, which is the PDP. And we've had to tell them, no, these committees don't have young people in them. And even when they put young people in them, they're never allowed to chair these committees. We're trying to see that we change that. There are a lot of examples around the world that we keep pointing out to them that, listen, these people have chosen young people, and they've been successful at what they do. Yes, you need experience, but then again, you need fresh ideas. You need people who are able to trust that young people coming into the parties are not just coming with radical. As I see the fears that most people who are aged in the party system have is the, what do you call it? I think student unionism that young people bring into politics. So you have, when they go into meetings, they're the ones that are most vociferous, vocal in party, and this tends to put the older ones on the edge. Okay, so they come with this, we want to come and take over everything. I think there needs to be a middle ground where there's a sort of assimilation within these parties where people are transited from underlings, proteges, and they become actual power block holders. But the effort, again, has to come from the younger ones who need to look at these political parties and understand that, like the saying goes, without politics, politics controls a lot of things. Let's keep aside the negative perception we have of politics. I have been of the opinion that if you have enough young people in politics, and young people, not just young people who have seen politics as a means of living or livelihood. I mean, some of us in politics have 3-4 jobs. So we know that we need to be financially stable to participate in politics. But some people, because maybe that's the Nigerian way, have seen politics as a meal ticket. That's one wrong reason to go into politics, because you will hardly find satisfaction or be able to deliver political dividends if that's the mindset you go into politics with. Politics should be a service-related ideology that you're going into it for.
Well, we will take a moment now. When we return, we will explore that, that particular idea a little further. The fact that, people see politics as a meal ticket, both young and old. But we'll talk about that when we return from this break. Do join us again.